Hello, in this video we're going to show you how to use the Talin Better Tutorials Unity asset. You can start by opening up an empty Unity project and importing the Talin Tutorials Unity asset. You can do so by double-clicking on the Unity package file, and you can get that file from the link in the description or seen on the screen. You can also download the whole project as seen in this video. When you import the Unity package, a folder will be created and everything we need is within that folder. In this project, we are going to import the Unity 2D game kit to use as our base game. We will be importing the example tutorial, showing the static version, and then making the tutorial dynamic by using the Talin asset. We just type in 2D game kit in the Unity asset store and simply import it. This step will probably take a few minutes, so we're going to fast forward these. After importing our 2D game kit, we open up Zone 1 and jump right into the tutorial. Initially, we're going to play through the static tutorial. In this case, regardless of you being an expert or a novice, the amount of information you get is identical. Everyone sees the same tooltip, and this is not ideal. So now, let's take a look at the dynamic tutorial made using Talin. We see that there's a knowledge base, which keeps track of all our skills, and several detectors that track events related to our skill. And underneath our detector, we have hints that activate when the certain mastery threshold is crossed regarding our skill. When the game starts, we'll see the drop ledge skill initialized at 0.7, and well, Ellen nears the proximity detector, the ledge, the value of mastery value starts deteriorating. When it crosses the threshold, initially a particle system appears, and when it decays even further, a tooltip appears. When the player exercises the skill, the mastery level goes up. Now let's take a look at how to use the Talin asset to create a dynamic tutorial. We start by duplicating our initial static tutorial, giving it a descriptive name, and afterwards we navigate to the Talin tutorials folder. In it, we have all the things we need. We start by dragging a knowledge base to the scene, and this knowledge base keeps track of all our skill items. We start by creating an empty game object, giving it a descriptive name, and dragging the skill item script on top of it. Once again, we give a skill item name and decide what the initial mastery value is. We expect many platform players to know how to drop down, so we'll initialize the high level. Now let's navigate to the ledge and create a proximity detector. Detectors are game objects that affect skills. In this context, the proximity detector is active whenever the player enters the given proximity. The proximity detector knows about the knowledge base, and it has to be attached to a skill. In this context, it is the drop ledge skill, and when the player is inside the proximity, we want the skill to decay. And we can set the weight as default, and our target in this case is Talin, and the activation radius can be set as 5. On top of that, we need to add some hints. So we add the hints on top of the detector. So whenever the mastery value of the drop ledge skill deteriorates under 0.4, we want a particle system to activate. We just create a particle system and make sure that it's pointing down to denote the player should go down, and we add it underneath the proximity detector and set it. And then we are disabling the background tooltip so that our hint can activate it once again. The BG game object is simply the tooltip that activates whenever our character nears the scene. We go back to our proximity detector and we add another activate game object hint to activate both the particle object and then the background tooltip. We set the background tooltip activation threshold to 0, which means that the tooltip is going to activate when the mastery level reaches 0. And finally, we need a way to exercise our skill. For that, we go back to our detectors and pick a multiple key input detector. The reason for that is because the skill is exercised when the player presses S and space. So we drag the skill item and we want the skill to be exercised. We set the weight to be 1, and the two keys that we are tracking in this detector is space and the key S. This means that whenever the player goes to a ledge and then presses space and S at the same time, or the skill we tracked, drop ledge skill, is exercised. And now let's see the finalized dynamic tutorial in action. When the tutorial starts, we'll see that the drop ledge skill is initialized at 0.8 mastery, and when Talin comes near the proximity detector, the mastery value starts decaying. When it crosses a certain threshold, the particle flex starts, and when it reaches 0, the tooltip appears. And when the player presses S in space, the skill is exercised, and when the next level is loaded, the skill values are persistent and everything is kept track of.